I can go over a couple of housekeeping details as we end the unit. The unit ends Sunday night, okay, and everything's due for Unit 1. I need to keep you on track. The course is kind of self-monitored. You need to do the work, all right, and you're going to get the most out of this class that you put into it, and I can't be here all the time just whacking you with wet noodle, all right? So your final two discussions are due Sunday night. I've noticed that most of you have already done the depth of field one. I'm very pleased with what I've looked at. And now it's time for you to really be bearing down on the lighting exercise and then also the composition exercise, both of which are due in your discussions by the end of the week, by Sunday night, okay? The lighting one's a little tricky, all right? I'm asking you to take 3 photographs outdoors showing the way the light treats itself, the way light treats subjects over the course of a day. And the point is to show you that morning light is different than noon light, and noon light is different than evening light. Sometimes it's due to the shadows. Most often it's due to the intensity of the color. So you get just a lot of variation throughout a day. Even on a cloudy day, there's variation. But I know right now in northern Indiana, we're having mostly cloudy days. So I understand that, okay? But another thing you really get into that's a lot of fun is you get into shadows. And some of my blog postings really show the dramatic impact of shadows. I think if you look at my lighting lecture, you'll see this. Be sure to look at item 5.3 in the learning module for this unit. There's a long lecture there on lighting. I spent a lot of time on that. I'm very proud of it. There's also 5.4, which is more about lighting. And what I'm getting at is that lighting is critical for a good image. I'm not just talking about having enough light. I'm talking about the type of light, all right? So please look at those lectures. Then there's also a lecture, a couple of technical lectures there, is item 5.5 and 5.6 on shutter and aperture. I think those are very interesting. You need to know the technical details of your camera. You really need to know how it works. So I'm offering this material to you, okay? There is an end of the unit quiz. It's open book. Make sure you get that taken. Everything's due by Sunday night. Item 7 is the end of unit quiz. There's also another lecture I want you to make sure you look at, item 5.1, Understanding Resolution. I wrote that. I'm very proud of it. It's not too technical, but it's very critical, particularly when it comes time the next unit to be uploading items to your blog, that kind of thing. You're really going to need to understand resolution, what it means. So basically, I'm trying to get you to finish up your discussion assignments, your photo assignments. They're all due Sunday night. I do not grade late material. I'm going to sit down early next week and get all these discussions graded. Once I grade them, that grades it. And these discussion posts where you're turning in your work, they're very critical to your overall grade. They count for a high percentage of your final grade. So it's really important that you do this work and that you understand it. Make sure you take the end of the unit quiz. It's item 7. And then I have a couple other fun things. I've seen a lot of pictures of pets this week and last week, so make sure you look at item 8.2. There's some tips for photographing your pets. And then photographing moving water is often a lot of fun too. Waterfalls and mountain streams and stuff. And there's a neat little help file that I found on that, item 8.1, about how to photograph neat waterfalls. So please enjoy the course, but please consider that you need to do the work, and in this particular case, you need to get it done by Sunday night. Then I'll get back here with you next week and introduce Unit 2 to you. So if you have questions this week, mail me, but please note that everything's due Sunday night. So most of you have already done the depth of field discussion. Now you have 2 more discussions. They're projects, all right? You have the lighting project and then the composition project, both of which are key. And make sure you read Chapter 5 in the textbook about composition. That's very, very key, please. And then that's item 4.3 in these in the learning module, okay? Chapter 5 in the textbook. And make sure you get the work done. And as I've said, I'm not going to grade it after it's due. That's it. So these units are very, very critical, and it's critical that you stay on course, on topic, and on time throughout the entire course. You get behind, it'll totally mess you up, and I don't have any patience for that because I teach 5 sections. All right, I teach 4 sections of composition where I have to enforce the law about lateness, and I have to do the same thing in this class. Otherwise, we both get hopelessly behind. So don't let that happen to you. I want you to enjoy the course, and I want to get you to get a lot out of it. It's an elective, all right, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let you be lazy. I'm going to hold your toes to the fire because I sincerely want you to learn something, and I know you paid for this. You want to learn something, okay?